Let's get down to business with our first inductee, Miss Joyce Ekworomadu. I heard Big Pete back there. Pete, you're loud tonight. So I've had the pleasure of knowing Joyce for over 15 years. I was fortunate enough to watch her play. She was unbelievable. She's the Southland Conference Player of the Year her senior year, and is also the program's 8th all-time leading scorer. Joyce and her teammates won the first ever Bobcat Division I postseason game her senior year. You can see the banner here right behind me. And I know a few of her teammates are here tonight, so I do want to recognize them as well, so let's give them a hand for being here. She was also just a force of nature, and I don't mean on the basketball court. If you get a chance to hang out with Joyce, you know she is a character. She lights up a room. She's a great person, has a great personality. She also has a great sense of humor, which I got to experience firsthand. Her senior year, she was the keynote speaker at our athletics department graduation banquet. And I went up to her right before she went on, and I was like, hey, don't forget about the little people. Make sure you give me a shout out, right? Totally kidding. She, mind you, she had absolutely no reason to. So she proceeds to get in front of everyone, including the university president, and start her speech with, I'd like to thank Don Coryell for all he's done to help me be successful. She then goes, no, I'm just kidding. He told me to say that. I'm like, oh my gosh. So I always knew Joyce. She probably had a career in comedy and basketball, so the Harlem Globetrotters make a lot of sense, right? So let's see some videos of our superstar, Joyce Ekworomadu.
Joyce Ekworomadu was a 4-year letter winner for the women's basketball team from 2004 through 2008, leading the Bobcats to a Southland Conference regular season championship in her final season at Texas State and the program's first ever postseason victory, while being voted unanimously as the 2008 Southland Conference Player of the Year. As of 2021, Ekworomadu is currently 8th all-time on the Bobcats' career scoring list with 1,573 points and is only one of 18 players to score over 1,000 points in her career. She is 6th all-time in career three-pointers made and is 4th in career free throws made. She is also one of just 5 players in Texas State history to record more than 1,500 career points and 600 career rebounds. Her senior season was the best of her career and what was one of the best seasons in team history, as the Bobcats finished with a record of 21-11 while going 14-2 in conference play and winning the Southland Conference regular season championship. Ekworomadu averaged 18.7 points per game and was named as Southland Conference Player of the Year, first team All-Southland Conference, and team MVP for the 3rd consecutive year. That historic season included a win in the first round of the women's NIT, an 84-83 thriller over Prairie View A&M. The win was the first postseason victory in the history of Texas State women's basketball. After her senior season, the accolades continued to roll in for Ekworomadu. She was named as the 2008 Southland Conference Student Athlete of the Year, and she was also the 2008 recipient of the Dr. Gene Smith Outstanding Female Athlete Scholarship Award, given to the top female athlete at Texas State. Ekworomadu graduated from Texas State University with a Bachelor of Business Administration and Marketing. She was named to the Dean's List 3 times and was a member of the Southland Conference's All-Academic Team all 4 years of her career. After graduating, Ekworomadu signed a contract to play for the San Antonio Silver Stars, becoming the first player in team and Southland Conference history to sign a WNBA contract. Her professional basketball career included stops in Europe, where she played in Poland and in Italy. She was also a member of the Nigerian national team from 2007 through 2018, helping lead Nigeria to the Olympic qualifiers in 2016. In 2013, she became just the 12th female to become a member of the Harlem Globetrotters. Ekworomadu is currently the CEO and director of Ball FX, where she is committed to inspiring people's desire for personal development through dedication, determination, and discipline. She is also a motivational speaker, speaking out about topics including diversity, leadership, women empowerment, and bullying prevention. She has also done a variety of volunteer work aiding the homeless population in the Dallas area and has coached underprivileged kids in collaboration with the Grand Prairie Police Department. In 2017, Ekworomadu completed her master's degree in educational leadership from the American College of Education. She currently resides in Dallas, Texas.
Hey, what a great representative and global ambassador for our university. Presenting speaker tonight for Joyce is her head coach, Suzanne Fox.
Hey, how y'all doing? I got to turn my TV voice off and go down just a smidge for you guys. First off, thanks, Don, for inviting me, giving me, and thanks for using all my speech words. Appreciate you. And he gave me 3 minutes. That was it. He said 3 minutes, Fox. I want to start by thanking Joyce. I'm honored to be able to be your speaker for tonight. We've had a lot of good times. And I'm not going to get into too many details because they're probably not appropriate for this group. Yeah. As I was asked to speak about Joyce, I started thinking about our experiences here. And a lot of the things you just saw on the screen were many of them. I thought about right there in front of Dawn is where Joyce hit a three-pointer against Prairie View and A&M with 1.4 seconds left for us to win the WNIT game here at home. That was the first win and only win in postseason history that Texas State women's basketball had at that point. It was huge because we were behind the entire game. I thought about the year, her senior year at Texas State, where she left school for a month to go represent the Nigerian national team in the pre-Olympic qualifiers. And that was a challenge for our team to overcome without your leader, your superstar, being gone for a month. And I also thought about sharing with you about she was the first player from Texas State to play in the WNBA, and we got to go down to San Antonio and watch her play in some of the preseason games. And then that led me to some more thoughts, and I thought about Joyce as a Harlem Globetrotter. And I couldn't resist, and Joyce, I've already showed her this, so she's laughed. One of my favorite things is I went back to the AT&T Center when Joyce was traveling with the Globetrotters, and got to watch her perform, which is really what her calling is performance. If you guys know her, she's a character. And so the only thing I got out of that performance was this high-dollar jersey. I got this sweet J jersey. I had to beg, I had to borrow, I had to steal, but eventually I got this in the mail from Joyce, and I've treasured it to know that someone I got to work with on a daily basis at Texas State was a Harlem Globetrotter, the 12th female ever. That's just huge, and such a representative of our institution. Let's give her a hand. I know Joyce made fun of me tonight when she watched me do the commentating for the men's game because I had my glasses on. If I don't have my glasses on, this is a blur. So bear with me, please. In all seriousness, I remember walking up to Joyce's house in Coppell, Texas, with, at that time, my assistant coach, Noelle Johnson. And we must have practiced 100 times as I walked up to her door, Ekworomadu, 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 Ekworomadu. So I would not butcher her name when I walked in to meet her parents, and we had dinner that night on our home visit. Things went well, obviously, because she was here, and we got to meet her parents and understand some of the primary influences in Joyce's life, which were her parents. They were all about education. They were all about her coming to Texas State and getting a degree. I'll be honest, they did not care a lick about basketball. Is that truth? That's truth. And so we had great conversations, and over the course of time, we convinced Joyce to come to Texas State, sign on the dotted line, and be a Bobcat. And I won't say the rest is history. It sort of is, but the rest is history. Thankfully, she came here. In the fall of 2004, she walked on campus. She was like any other freshman, naive, young, excited, energetic, colorful, crazy, to say the least. I see Dante looking over here, thinking about his time as a freshman at Texas State, Southwest Texas campus then, and it was a good times. But over her 4 years here, she made a huge transformation as a player, but more importantly, as a person. She was blessed with great teammates, and I'm going to say great coaches. That's just my opinion. That helped transform her as a player and as a person, but ultimately it came down to Joyce's hard work, internal drive, and her desire to be the best. That's what made her an elite athlete, was her desire to be the best. By the time she got to her senior year, you know, she had came as a 5'9" small forward with limited skills. By the time she got to that senior year, she could play any position on the floor, from point guard to 5. And we definitely took advantage of that in her senior campaign. In 2008, as it was mentioned, she was named the Southland Conference Player of the Year, and she led our team to a conference championship. But it doesn't end there. The accolades, you can look in the program, they're too numerous to name. The things that I remember about Joyce is she was the epitome of a student athlete. She earned a degree. She was a very good student. And more importantly, she was the heart and soul of our program. I can summarize my experiences coaching Joyce in 4 words. Only 4 words. I loved coaching Joyce. And I loved it because she was a competitor. You cannot teach athletes to be competitors. She was the ultimate competitor. She was magnetic, as Dawn mentioned. She had charisma. She was outgoing, and she was a phenomenal representative of our program and this great institution. So it is my honor to welcome Joyce Ekworomadu to the T Association Hall of Honor.
How's everybody doing? Yeah, you know, I got to start off like that. Thank you, Coach Fox. That was amazing. And thank you to the directors of the T Association for nominating me. Pete Rossico, right there, I see you, boy. My friends and family that are here. All the other inductees that have paved the way for me. I mean, I look around and I like literally paved the way. Like I'm looking around these pictures, you know, they're black and white. And so they actually played before I was even a thought, probably. But nonetheless, they did great things. So I was just happy to be like among all of this great talent. Coach Fox and Coach Jay, who recruited me, Coach Jay, rest in peace, they saw a diamond in the rough. And so basically when I was getting recruited, I actually, well, let me take y'all back. When I was 10 years old, I wanted to play Division I basketball. I didn't know where I wanted to play Division I basketball. You know, as I got older, I was like, you know, I want to go to Duke. I want to go to OU. I want to go to UT. And then those letters weren't coming, but then Texas State kept on coming. I was like, Texas State? And so I'm telling people, hey, have you heard of Texas State? And they're like, yeah, it's a party school. I was like, I got to check it out. So I go to Texas State on my visit, and man, I just felt like family. I went with my family, my mom, my dad, my grandpa came along, and it was just, they accepted me with open arms. And I knew right then that this was gonna be the perfect fit for me. One of the most memorable times here as a Bobcat, Coach Fox alluded to, was that shot with 1.4 seconds left in the game. Now, I mean, we were down the whole time playing against Prairie View A&M. Cynthia Cooper at the time was a coach, and that was somebody who I just absolutely like looked up to. She played in the WNBA. I mean, she won 4 championships, and so I'm like, whoa, we're playing like this, you know, person that I idolize. And you know, she's coaching the heck out of her team. So I remember I hit one in the corner to kind of give us a chance to even get to this moment, and then I hit that one, and I was so excited. I look at the bench, I run over to Kim Cessna, who's my teammate that's right here. I jump in her arms, I catch 2 cramps in my calf muscles, and I'm like, this is exciting, but let me down. Where's the trainer? So with that being said, we were just having a great time. I loved my team as a senior. We just did so many monumental things that at the time we didn't even realize what was going on until now I look up at the screen. And I'm like, oh wow, we did like a lot of really cool things. So I just love my time here at Texas State. Moving forward, you know, playing in the WNBA, that was something that I also always had dreamed about. But every time I give an interview, anytime, whether it was with the Globetrotters, whether it was with the WNBA, even now that I get interviewed, even now as a motivational speaker, Texas State is the one thing that always sticks out. The support from the staff is, for one, like Coach Fox alluded to again, I left school for a month. That was like unheard of. I left school as a senior to go play on the national team. You know, not a lot of coaches allow student athletes to just, okay, hey, bye, I'll see y'all when I see y'all, you know, come back. So Coach Fox was very supportive of that decision, and Texas State was very instrumental in me playing on the national team. I got seen at a conference tournament. So again, WNBA. When I got to the WNBA, the head coach actually told me that he was coming down because we were so close, 45 minutes away from San Antonio. He was coming down as a sophomore when I was playing as a sophomore. And so as I think, oh yeah, I wanted to go to all these big schools, no, Texas State was exactly where I needed to be. Going on the national team, playing the WNBA, and also, lastly, with the Harlem Globetrotters. The only reason I became a Harlem Globetrotter was because one of my friends, Brandon Bush, who played on our men's team here, was a Globetrotter, and I called him up one day. I was like, hey, what are you doing, buddy? He was like, yeah, I'm playing with the Globetrotters. I was like, the Globetrotters, like Curly and Neal, like the Wizards with basketball? He's like, yeah, and they have females too. So I was like, all right, well, put me on. So he put me on, and you know, the rest was history. So I say that to say every moment in my life post-college led back to Texas State. I wouldn't have been successful with the WNBA. I wouldn't have been on the national team. I wouldn't have gotten to the Globetrotters had I not come through Texas State. And with that, I want to say I will forever always have Texas State in my heart. It will always keep a special place in my heart, and go Bobcats. And thank you guys. Oh, and I'd like to shout out Dawn.
That's for you to take.
Oh, that's for me? Oh,
yeah,
thank
we'll take
you.
some pictures after.
All right, cool. Thank you.
Great job, Joyce, right?